Welcome everybody. It's lovely to see so many people here representing industry, professional bodies and academia. It's my pleasure to welcome you all and to introduce you to the AgriFood Training Partnership. So I want to start by taking you on a little journey through the origins of the AgriFood Training Partnership. And this started 5 years ago now, back in November 2011, when BBSRC funded 3 advanced training partnerships, as they were then known, in food, agri-food and pasture. And the academic partners involved in those really form the core of what we have here today. The aims of those original advanced training partnerships was to reduce the skills gap within the agri-food industry and to promote links between the higher education establishments and that sector. And we made considerable progress along that journey. As you can see from this slide, we operate across the whole sector, so everything from production and the environment right through to retail and the consumer. And across our portfolio, we covered everything in that space. And during those last 5 years, we trained over 1,500 participants on a variety of courses ranging from CPD through to qualifications, engaged with over 700 businesses, and offered a portfolio of over 80 or so different training courses. So we have a really solid foundation on which to build our current partnership. I thought what I'd do is to illustrate where we fit within the current matrix of the UK training that is applicable to the agri-food sector. And on the right of the slide here, you can see the traditional qualifications route through GCSEs, A-levels, diplomas and so on, up to masters and doctorates. And that's fine for people who come through that traditional route. But of course, those of you working in the sector will know that not everyone comes through that traditional route. And that's really the heart of the skills gap, is that we have people within industry that we need to upskill, and we need to bring more people into industry from the bottom level. And so apprenticeships is something that you'll hear more about from Jeanette later on this evening. And originally they were at a lower level, but now, as you'll hear from Jeanette, there's apprenticeships up through level 6, 7, and even talk of level 8 apprenticeships. And then there's a whole raft of training around the sort of A-level-ish kind of bracket, whether that's through further education, land-based colleges, organisations such as Lantra and so on. We have friends here from both Leatherhead Food Research and Camden BRI in the room who offer a broad portfolio of training across the piece to people within the food and agriculture industries. And then there are also organisations such as BASIS, which are far more specialist towards agriculture. And before the advanced training partnerships, there's really no one sitting at this level, at the master's and doctorate, in other words, the postgraduate level of training. And so the advanced training partnerships really filled that space and provided progression for people coming up through the industry, whether they'd started on a traditional route of training and moved sideways across, or whether actually they've come up through all of these different routes that you see on the left-hand side. And so what we are doing, and today is the launch of this, is to merge those 3 advanced training partnerships into the Agri-Food Training Partnership. So why? Why bother to unify? Well, the rationale for unification was really rooted partly to streamline the participant experience, so that instead of the sector having 3 different places to go, it had a single place to go to see the entire portfolio of training. It enabled us as the partnership to give a real flexibility across our portfolio, both in breadth, depth and the method of delivery. If I can ask my colleagues at the top to click on to the website link now, then you'll see that the website is now live, and I would encourage you all to log on to it, to explore it, and particularly to send it to other people within your organisations to help us spread the word. If you look at the courses at the top, this is probably where most people will head in the first place. If you can click on that tab, that will be great. And you can see that we're organised into areas that make it easy for people to search across the portfolio. We won't run through the lot, but you can see that it's going to be a one-stop shop for being able to seek out what we do and how to find it and how it's delivered, so that you can design your own bespoke training, apply for it online, and have a very easy way to progress, if you can go back to the PowerPoint, through CPD qualifications or so on. So the partnership, the logos that you see there represent the core academic partners within the AgriFood Training Partnership. We're supported by our associate partners, who, as you can see, represent very well-known organisations across agriculture and food with an international reputation, and importantly for us, a real industry representation within the UK. And we also have at the moment just a single affiliate partner, but we have space and ambition to take on more affiliate partners as appropriate, as people bring things to our party, as it were, with more to offer to further increase the breadth of our portfolio that we offer people like you. So, aims of the AgriFood Training Partnership. As I've alluded to already, we have the ability as the unified AFTP to be a single voice for the industry, to facilitate business-to-business engagement, which is as simple as putting participants in a room from different organisations to operating at a much higher level, and to facilitate, I call it customer engagement, but to enable people to engage with that training. Our aim is to be the provider of choice for this sector, to recognise that we are a mechanism that people can invest in their employees' training, that we're the place that can deliver the training both in the content and the style of delivery that companies want to engage with. We also have an important role, given we're rooted in higher education institutions, to transfer that knowledge, both research knowledge and cutting-edge technologies, into the sector. It's, people don't have the resources to investigate what's coming over the horizon in the way of new technologies, how to implement them, to make that transition from the heavy scientific literature into something that's appropriate for the industry. And we provide that conduit. We'll provide a progression route, as I've already alluded to, for people that are coming up through other providers in the sector. You can see that we're already associated, quite literally, with the partners that we have that already provide training to agriculture and food employees, to help the businesses themselves improve the productivity and the sustainability of their organisations. So in terms of what we actually do on a day-to-day basis, clearly we deliver training. We deliver it in a variety of ways, and this is one of the strengths of being able to unify, is that we can share that best practice and really draw down on all of the strengths that we've had individually through the advanced training partnerships. So we have good expertise within the consortium for delivering online, at distance, and that is sometimes in an entirety, or it's coupled with laboratory-based or field-based learning, or indeed classroom-based learning, whether that's on a short course basis or blended learning or however. So we have a flexibility of learning that means that you can pick it up in a way that best suits you. Clearly, one of the things that we want to do is to measure the impact we're having on the sector, on businesses. So we've outsourced our monitoring and evaluation to Bigger Economics, who are very well known working in this sector, and they've developed a structure for us. They will be analysing the AFTP in terms of the contribution that it will make to individuals, to businesses and the sector as a whole, to look at the relationships that we have between the different elements of that consortium, to look at the relevance of our training, to look at the value added. And finally, to look at the economic impact of our training in terms of GVA and employment across primarily the UK, but also internationally. So in terms of governance of the AgriFood Training Partnership, it starts at the top with an executive board. We have representatives from all of the core partners on the executive board. We also have non-executive directors, which are on the top row. We still have 2 vacancies that we're actively seeking to fill at the moment. And on the left, you'll see Brian Hanley, ring-fenced in green, from the KTN. So the KTN at the moment are acting as our chair, and they're helping us source a permanent chair who will service that board. I should add BBSRC have a role on there at the moment as an observing role since they've made a significant investment into the funding. Management board is represented here by the 6 core partners and a strategic advisor that really drive the day-to-day business of the AFTP, ably assisted by our operational team, which is actually more extensive than the photographs that you can see here, and that we have far more extensive administrative and digital development support. But I ran out of space on the slide, so the 3 that you see here, managing the student experience, operations and business development and marketing, are the core individuals to drive our business. And often your point of contact will be with one of our technical groups. So we've divided our portfolio into 4 broad areas, which are easy to find and search on the website. All of those will still deal with the transferable skills that we need and which will underpin efficient working in the businesses. And so finally then, I think one of the real strengths of the AFTP is that we're not just a hub for training. We do more than that. We present a single voice for the industry. We're engaged with people at the very highest level within the business. And what we do directly addresses the aims of the industrial strategy. And we did put a response into this green paper. The key messages that came out of that industrial strategy were about enhancing work-based, lifelong, career-long learning. And that's exactly what we do. We enable you to develop your careers while still in the place of work, not having to take secondment out to further that. To enable you a flexible mode of learning. So whether you just want to do something specialist and quick, or whether you want to do a longer portfolio of training, we have that capability. To do that, we're engaging with the apprenticeships, and you'll hear more from Jeanette in a minute about that, about being able to deliver them. We've applied to HEFKI for some money to help facilitate that process. We're working with Interface, which is the Scottish partnership that brings business and academia together. And you'll hear in a minute from Bob Webb from the AgriFood Tech Council, and we're working with them in terms of trying to streamline the career progression for people working in the sector. So I'm going to stop there. I'm very happy to answer any questions from the floor if you want to find out more about the AgriFood Training Partnership.